Yeah, well,
put on too much weight and they're ashamed.
I'm
A bit like yourself.
I'm exactly like that, mate. I've been recording myself for like, either because obviously you're doing a bit of programming for me, I've been recording it to either send stuff to you or like put on Instagram. And I'm like, where has this fucking gut come from?
I know, I love the double unders. He's skipping and jumping up and down.
Oh, no wonder I was fucking shit at skipping again. I just got about 5 extra boobs just flopping up and down. On the rope, what I need, obviously it's the hybrid rope that I've been using. Cheeky little plug there, but it's the metal bits on
NL10 for 10%
off. when you've lengthened the rope to the right level, to like your nipple level, like just below your
Which
nipples.
ones, your old nipples or your new nipples?
That might be where I'm going wrong, mate. I think it's my old nipples.
Your rope's way too short.
Yes, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Normalising Life podcast with myself and Rob. Happy 19th episode, as we just said, 19th episode, and there's going to be a big special for the 20th episode, isn't there, mate? We've just realised.
Yeah, based up base.
So,
touching down in the homeland.
Yeah,
well,
no,
sort of homeland, home isles.
Yeah, so we're going to have as episode 20, you won't have a nice outline layer box with 2 screens. We're going to be together. It's going to be great.
We can like touch, when we laugh at each other, we can touch each other's arm, like, ha ha ha.
So funny.
Yeah,
like
because we got a high five mid-podcast.
Yeah, that meme that Alice sent you, that my girlfriend sent you. The 2 kids just running towards each other at the train station.
Yeah, when you pick me up. Oh, good times. It's going to be good.
I think it's crazy the fact of that, like how we started it, when you actually think about the process of how like kind of our friendship has blossomed.
Yeah,
it's like me, like I remember seeing you on the boat that we both went over to Gilly Island on the same boat, and I was like, oh, that guy's got a CrossFit Wonderless vest on. I'm like, oh, that's sick. I went there just the day before, and then you happened to be in our hostel, the same hostel as us as well, and then there happened to be a bamboo barbell there as well that we decided to work out on, and then we just got absolutely smashed.
Yeah, and then we had a wee beach workout, bonded over a beach workout.
Yeah, good
times.
And then a year later, and here we are.
Yeah, absolute growth. The growth in the past year has been scary.
I know. It's good to look back sometimes, isn't it, and think about how far you've come.
Yeah, scary amount. Yeah, for sure. But here, what's happening, Adam? How's your week?
My week's been good, mate. I'm back in the gym. I've been exercising properly again. It's been feeling great. It's like, as much as like, well, I haven't worked out much at home in lockdown, like getting back into the gym, and as much as like say a workout at home does make you feel better sometimes, it is not the same as when you work out in the gym and when you can actually get.
For sure, I am sick of training at the house. Like don't get me wrong, I'm quite good at getting motivated, but it gets to some days you're just like, just walking down out of my bedroom straight into the gym. It's like, I don't want to be here. It's just different. You like to get out of your way and make yourself go to the gym. It's so much better. Mm-hmm. How's the gym's been? Has it been packed out?
So it was pretty packed on Monday, because I've been going like early mornings most days. So it was pretty packed Monday morning at 6:30 when I got there. But apart from that, it's been reasonably quiet. And like even
That's
the
weird.
gyms that, I mean, I know, but you need to think that it's like restaurants have opened as well, restaurants and bars. So it's like people have probably gone to the gym Monday, gone out on the sesh Monday night and been like, oh, fuck that, I'm not training. And then just kind of, I don't know, some people might still have a bit of like social anxiety around it as well, which is completely understandable.
Or they're just really fat and they're like, I don't want to go to the gym because I'm too fat, sort of thing.
Yeah, well,
put on too much weight and they're ashamed. A bit like yourself.
I'm exactly like that. Except I've got the balls to go there. It's like I've been recording myself for like, either because obviously you're doing a bit of programming for me, I've been recording it to either send stuff to you or like put on Instagram, and I'm like, where has this fucking gut come from?
I know, I love the double unders. He's skipping and jumping up and down.
Oh, no wonder I was fucking shit at skipping again. I just got about 5 extra boobs just flopping up and down.
Spare tire on your waist. We can rub a ring. But we'll get it off. We'll get it off.
Yeah, it won't take long, and I know that, and that's one of the things that I think is massive. Is like people need to realise is that you will, whatever you feel like you've lost, you'll get back. and he'll get back
and the
to
fact
it.
you can joke about it, like, I think it's a big part of, like, you need to normalise that for sure. Like, being able to joke, saying, "Oh, fucking size of me," fucking mucking about, jiggle a little bit, like, just be normal about it. Like, everyone's gonna put on weight over this period, like, and just
I'm going to be
fucking
posting
have a laugh
loads.
about it.
I'm going to be posting loads of stories based around my workouts and whatnot and the stuff I'm doing over the next few weeks anyway. So if anyone wants to have a good laugh at my jiggling belly as I'm doing some double unders or something, then go over to my Instagram and send
You
me.
never know. Some people might get off to that. You never know. Some people like a bit of junk in the trunk.
It's like when Alice goes like, "Oh, you." Says like, "Oh, you're really fit." I'm like, "I'm not. I'm just not. Stop lying to yourself."
You've got a letter. You've got a letter wrong there. It's fat. It's all gonna. You're gonna be shredded by summer.
How
Like,
was it the other day as well that I'd messaged? Oh yeah. No, definitely will. How like the fact that I messaged you the other day about AirPods and we both got a new set of AirPods literally on the same day without even realising it.
yeah, because I was gonna get them. I was gonna get that on a watch, but then I just tried to calm myself down and just got AirPods instead. But I needed them since I fucking dropped them down the well. Oh, it wasn't a well. Don't know why I said well. It's not a fucking fairy tale.
I found my Apple Watch as well, so I've been tracking my workouts again on that. But they are frustrating. This is. I had this one. I've had it about 3 years, and the battery life on it is like a day and a half. It is shocking for a watch.
Oh, I got one of those sort of dicky Chinese ones. It's a good branded Chinese one called Amazfit, but they were like one of the better, more expensive Chinese ones, so I got it, and it worked for it was like a month or two. It was good, and then I realised I was like, I'm definitely running further than what I thought. Like, I was doing 5Ks at the time. I was like, this is definitely more than 5K, because my times were I felt really fucking slow. I was doing like 27-minute 5Ks, and I was like, why is it taking me so long to run 5K? And then I realised that I was running like 7, or it was like 6.2 or something like that. Because the GPS on it was shite. Yeah. So yeah, get a good one. If you're still thinking of getting a Chinese smartwatch, don't do it. It's a piece of shit.
No. Yeah, and one thing
Apple are no one.
Going back to double unders and stuff like that again and getting used to the skipping style of things, I have been whipping myself so much because I've been shit at them.
Yeah, that's not nice. Like, the wire's way too thin. It just hurts so bad.
Yeah. No, I get the speed element of it, and when I get in the flow and the rhythm, I'm like, yes. But then you just fuck up that one little bit, and it's not nice. But yeah, it's because of on the rope. What I need, obviously the hybrid rope that I've been using. Cheeky little plug there, but it's the metal bits on
NL10 for 10% off.
when you've lengthened the rope to the right level, to like your nipple level, like just below your
Which
nipples.
ones? Your old nipples or your new nipples?
That might be where I'm going wrong there. I did it to my old nipples.
Your rope's way too short.
But yeah, it's the little metal bit after the rope that keeps smacking me on the back of the knuckles.
Just cut that off.
I know I need to, but it's like I forget about it when I'm not in the gym, and then when I get to the gym the next time, it's like, I've spent a lot of money on straightening my teeth. I don't want to fuck them up now.
Yeah, but apart from that, are you ready to get fit? Because I've programmed some very hard workouts in the next few weeks that are going to test you. But then I'm back next week. We'll have a weekend session next weekend. Yeah. I'll be coming up to see you.
Yeah.
Be good. I can't wait to go to an actual gym, man. I was in the gym on there Saturday because my gym owners let me sort of use it on the back door sort of thing. Yeah. And oh man, I'm so erg unfit. I went on the ergs and I was just horrible. Just felt like a bag of soup.
Yeah.
Just trying to fucking. I just felt awful.
I think it just comes back to not beating yourself up about these kind of things, because
for sure, I can't help it as well, because you always think, especially people coming back to the gym, if you're going back to the gym this week, you are not going to be the same way that you were before. That's a fact, that people are going to expect it and try to hit a fucking PB bench or something and pull out their peg. So yeah, you're not going to be the same strength, and I sort of knew that going in at the same time, but you can't help but get annoyed at yourself because it's not what you used to be.
The gym, I started doing a physio clinic in the gym again, beginning of March. So I had one gym session a week when I was working in the gym. So I've kind of done a month of like one session a week of priming my body, getting some of the DOMs out of the way a little bit, and then going into it this week. I've taken it reasonably easy, but tested myself a little bit, seeing just where I'm at. And then I think, like I say, I've given myself that good kind of priming level to kind of start the programming stuff now. So it'll be good. Keep you updated on the progress of how I'm going.
For shizzle, talking about weight loss, etc. Have you seen the news about your girl Nikki Graham dying from eating disorders?
Yeah.
And then we just read a fact there before we got on saying there's 1.6 million eating disorders in the UK. Like, or people with eating disorders in the UK. It's a scary number. Like, I'm sure lockdown makes it 10 times worse. Scary.
I find a lot of it. Well, like my personal experiences, I talked about, I think a few podcasts ago, is like the issues I've had around binge eating and stuff, and that kind of in its sense of like, I didn't even realise that I'd had that element of a eating disorder.
I think it's the other way. Is fucking well worse sometimes. Like the not eating side of things. It's just so.
Yeah. The other side of it, like the anorexia and the bulimia and them kind of things is insane. Like we both said, we listened to the Demi Lovato podcast with Joe Rogan.
Oh, flip me! That woman has went through hell and back. Like,
yeah.
If no one's seen it, like Demi Lovato, like whenever she was being acting since she was 7 or 8 years old, I think it is.
In Barney and Friends when she was 7
Barney
or 8
and Friends
years
when
old.
she was 7 or 8 years old. So she's been under the sort of limelight since 7 or 8 years old, and then Disney. Anyone who goes through Disney is like gonna get fucked up eventually. Like, and like this happened to me, Miley Cyrus, flipping. What was the other one? There was another one, I can't remember though. But yeah, and then she went through like a heroin addict, and she was a coke addict. She was anything you could be addicted to. She was addicted to. Like,
Coke at 17.
Yeah. Like she's the same age as us.
Yeah.
Which is the amount that she's been through in the past, like in the same lifetime as us.
She's American, and they're not even illegal to drink until 21, and she's doing coke at 17.
But I didn't know. So she watched her documentary on Netflix before the podcast, and she was telling me they didn't even release the information that was actually happening on Joe Rogan's podcast. There was more that happened that time. So spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it, I'm going to spoil it anyway. But she relapsed, I think it was a year ago, relapsed, and then she OD'd on heroin, I want to say, and she had 2 strokes and a heart attack. Yeah. Or 1 stroke and a heart attack. 2 heart attacks. I can't remember.
Now she legally can't drive because her eyesight's fucked up.
Yeah, because her eyesight's fucked. But I didn't know. But whenever that happened to her, Hal's told me that whenever she had a stroke, she was raped. That same situation. So she had a stroke. Had a heart attack, and she was raped as well.
Yeah.
But that's mental. Like how someone can come through that. Like, and then Joe Rogan saying about her doing like hokey pokey flipping retreats, healers, and mate, do you know what? Like, if whatever can get her through that, like if you want to see a healer, if you want to see a fucking sorcerer, go see Dumbledore for all I know. But as long as you get your head sorted for that shit, like fair fucks to you. It's mental.
Like massively in like with people like that. If something's working for you, just fucking do it. Like if it's even if it's placebo effect, whatever. If there's research backing it up, if this person's helped thousands of people, whatever, just fucking do it. And
it's scary, like.
Yeah. I mean, Joe Rogan were playing on that a lot, though, wasn't it? Like the healer.
Yeah, he's really against that, isn't he? Like, that sort of mumbo jumbo. I'm not really a big fan of it, but as I said, placebo. Like, if something helps you and you know it helps you, then fucking do it.
No, 100%. Definitely. Yeah, and I think it's just crazy, and the awareness around eating disorders and stuff is just. I do think that there is more awareness around eating disorders when it comes to the anorexic, not like lack of eating, rather than the eating too much style of things.
You think there is more?
I think there's more. I think there's more because being overweight is so much more common than being massively underweight. I think people just play the binge eating off as someone just being fat.
Yeah, fair.
And being overweight. So it's like.
What defies binge eating? The fact that you don't know when to stop.
I think that you're full and you just keep eating anyway. Like your brain doesn't have that switch off. It's more of like an eating for comfort or eating to punish or like emotional style eating. And like there's a combination of different things, but basically it's like, you know, you don't need any more food, but you're just eating for the sake of it. And some people would be like, oh, you just eat because you're bored. It's like it's a little bit different than that. And in my experience of it, and it was like, especially my main experience of it was when I obviously restricted my diet in so much for the bodybuilding competition that then I ate 10,000 calories the following day, and I literally couldn't move. I'd eaten that much, and I was still putting food in my body and still eating. It just want to switch off, and I think because I'd restricted it for so long that it just happened. And I don't know. It's a weird thing, but you don't really know any different in a sense, so you don't know what normal would be.
Yeah, I guess it's not really socially like brought up too much. You just eat too much. It's like, oh, you hungry? Are you, big lad? But if you don't eat, there's socially a problem. Like if someone's not eating at a dinner table, you're like, something's wrong with her.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But if she's eating too much, you'd be like, fuck, you're hungry. But it wouldn't be a big thing.
Yeah, so it's not. I'm not underplaying any. Like I think that they're all the eating disorders are like horrendous, and people need to be find the right help or find the right things that help them with it. But it is tough. Yeah,
I struggle whenever I'm not working to eat, which is weird. But like today, I've hardly ate anything because I used to be really thin. I used to think I had anorexia. Like whenever I was 18, I was really thin. I was like 65 kilo. Like, I'll show you a picture. I don't know if we can put it up in this. I don't know. It might be on this. You'll never know, guys. But yeah, I used to be fucking well skinny. You wouldn't even recognize me. And I used to think I was anorexic, but I don't know if it was just me being overactive and not really eating. But again, it's understandings. Like I could have, but I wouldn't know because it's not really a big topic, or you don't learn it at school. You don't fucking. Again, one of these things you don't learn in school, which you definitely should. There was another thing I was talking about that you don't learn in school that should be taught.
Fucking tax.
What was it? Yes.
Tax and mortgages.
So it was
and this kind of
mortgages and liabilities as well. Like I put on my Instagram this week, shook a few people, like, not gonna lie, but I don't really care, about getting cars on finance before you buy a house and you're living with your mum. So you have a 20 grand car sitting and you're still living with your mum, you don't have a house. And how stupid it is. Some people, Russell some feathers, are like, oh, give it a break. It's fucking a pandemic. Stop being so negative. I'm like, I'm not being negative. I'm just trying to fucking tell people what the right thing and wrong things is to do because it's not taught in schools. That should be taught in schools about being liable, debt, shit like that. Why is it not taught in schools? It's fucking bonkers.
The government control what's taught in schools, and they like people being in debt because it means that they get to charge more interest on it, and at the end of the day, they get more money from it. It's all fucking corrupt and shit, and it's just that people have it, like people like ourselves that have knowledge about it, that it's like people are pushed towards, oh, you need to improve your credit rating. What's the best way to improve your credit rating? Getting a credit card and making the payments back on it. It's like, oh, like lease a car and make the payments on that is the best way to get your credit rating.
Have this credit card with £2,000. Have this free £2,000 that you can keep on swapping to another credit card for the rest of your life. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. No, it's all big whales with the big pockets just cashing in.
I'm sort of glad that my mum's very, what's the word? Dinosaur? Maybe? Dinosaur or...
Cash-in mattress.
Trust issues. She's got very big trust issues. So she was always warn me from debt and any form of direct debits, credit cards. Like, my mum still doesn't have a direct debit to her name, which is mad. I find that so strange. No direct debits to her name. She owns her house outright. No mortgage. No fuck all. And it's pretty cool. Like it's quite admirable for someone like us who's likes budgeting and stuff. Imagine that, having everything outright. It's fucking class. Yeah. But at the same time, the trust issue, like she's passed that on to me, where it told me like debt's bad. That's really bad. But at the same time, debt's actually really good. People don't know the benefits of debt. You need to go into debt to know what it's like and to be able to use it to your advantage. Like you couldn't get a house without debt. You couldn't really get many things without going into debt first. Like you need to know how to use debt to your advantage. Like mortgages. Like you need to use your 20s to get in as much debt as you can, and then use the rest of your life to get out of it and own it all after. So debt and then pay it off, and then you own it all by 50 and you're retired. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's doing that in the right way, and it's not like going like,
but don't buy a car for
card
30
and then
grand.
going, oh, I'm gonna buy a bottle of champagne. I'm gonna buy this
Gonna go to Ocean Beach. Gonna go to Ocean Beach with the boys. Spend £2,000 for a bottle of fucking Grey Goose.
Yeah. No, it's not. That's. I think that's where a lot of people get lost, and that's a story that my dad told me. Actually, he's like, I got a credit card and I went on a night out, and first thing I bought with the credit card were a bottle behind the bar, and I was like, well, I didn't get any financial sense off of you then.
I was really stupid with my first credit card because I've been earning quite good money from I was 21. So my value of money went fucking everywhere at a pretty young age. I didn't really get it. So I had a credit card when I was in Saudi. I went to Dubai and I drove. I rented out a Dodge Charger, and that was dear enough as it is. But I was fucking teaming around Dubai and a fucking Dodge Charger. It was just being a wee dick, really. And then I went through a red light over a tram line. I didn't see it because it was just complicated the way the roads were, and I went through like a tram red light, and I think at the end when I was dropping in the car, or the week after when I was in Saudi, I got an email, £900 fine, like pounds, so it was like 5,000 dirhams. And I was like, holy dick. Like, so the car, I think for the car, the fine, everything, it cost me about 2.5 to 3 grand for like 10 days.
Yeah.
Mental. But I just said, right, I'll put it on my credit card and I'll just forget about it.
Yeah.
And I got them at like the end of my 2 years. On the June, you could do a 2-year deal on your credit card, so you don't have to pay any interest fees.
Yeah,
so I went past that and I ended up, I was paying my interest, but I was just paying minimum, and I wasn't even looking at it, and I was just paying minimum, and it was just staying. So it was staying at 2 grand pretty much constantly. Every time I paid the minimum, and I went back up to 2 grand for about a year. So I just like wasted so much money just from being an idiot and not like taking care of my finances. It's so easy just to forget about things because you're able to do it. You forget about it and you look back and things like that. You're just like, oh fuck, what an idiot!
Well, it's like
especially with finances.
I've got credit card debt now, but I know I've got about 6 months left of 0% APR, and then I know which credit card I'm moving it to once I'm paying it off, and I am paying it off gradually. But it's only COVID that made me have to get a credit card. But
100%. Don't get me wrong. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you know how to control debt, it can be a massive tool. But you can also be a tool with using it.
I mean, it's like say if you're wanting to start a business and you say you're wanting to start a clothing brand and you want like an iPad to help you do your designs and whatnot, then that to me is get a credit card, get a loan to buy that so you can start the business. And if anything, that should be a bit of accountability to be like, I need to fucking work to start making some return on this. And most of them, like the credit card I got is 20 months 0% APR, so it's like that's pretty much nearly 2 years with 0% APR, which is good. Like, you lend the money with basically no interest being back on it, and then if you want to use that to fund the starting of a business, and then you need to be like, okay, well every time that I need to pay what might be 50 quid, the minimum payment on the card. So every month I need to be paying 50 quid. So it might be that you pay a couple. That's a lot better than say buying an iPad at £1,200 that you might need for the business in a sense. But
100%. It's like an investment more than anything. You borrow money to finance something, really.
Yeah, and I think that's something that where debt can be used very very wisely, but people get scared around doing stuff like that.
100%. I always say it, like debt is good. Like, people just are scared of it. I was scared of it, but now that I've been in it, I think you have to be in a stage where you're. At the same time, I think you have to go through a bit of your stage of your life where you're blowing your money, like on just being a dick, just to know the value. In me, looking back at me, fucking just spent. I remember I went to Dubai and spent £2,000 one night on a fucking nightclub, like buying bottles and all, just because I was just well above my means. I was like a 21-year-old in Dubai getting big money from Saudi. Like, just looking back, I'm like, what an idiot. But at the same time, I'm never going to do it again for that reason. Like, because I've done it and I've been there, and I'm looking back saying I could use that 2 grand now, very very well. But it's done now.
It's an expensive and an important lesson that you've had to learn, and it's like it's like I'm a massive believer in you don't fail, you either win or you learn. And I think that just in life in general, in business, in making money, in investing, in whatever, like, you win or you learn. And sometimes they are expensive lessons, but you've learned it now, at least. And
100%.
That's what your 20s and early 30s are for, I think. Like,
I wouldn't go back. I wouldn't change anything in the past. Well, maybe some things. To be fair. we'll not go into them ones.
No, I love that. I'm massive on it. I think that people can use money. They can use the debt. They can use mortgages and all these kind of things in such a positive way. But we won't go too much further into all of that.
Speaking of the past, if you could go back in time to go to school, would you just pick the same route you went down, or would you do something else, or would you pick a route to go down a different one?
I'd pick a different route. I think physio is something like physio is something in itself that's very time for money based. Like you pay me to have an assessment, or you pay me to have a treatment session, or whatever. And I want to be paid based on my results. I don't want to be paid based on my time.
So what are you saying?
So I would completely pick something different to physio. I'd probably do something more along the lines of, I'd say business, like something in business, but again, at the end of the day, I don't feel like.
But at the same time, what would you have been interested in? Like at that age, would you have been interested in business? Probably not.
At that age, no. But if that's what we mean, if we're saying if we could go back now and change it, then
yeah. I don't know if I would have the motivation to go back, because I was a wee dick. I was.
If I could have my brain now and go back to.
I'd be a scientist, bro. I'd be a fucking rocket scientist. No, I don't even know. If I had the knowledge now,
I honestly don't think I'd go to uni. I don't think I'd go again.
There's so many options if you had your knowledge now, because you know what would happen as well. Like, so you could time YouTube. You could go if you YouTubed at the right time, you could have made it massive. You know what I mean? Or if you timed a lot of things right,
that is something that it proper lights me up. That it's like part of my superpower. I think is in video editing and producing videos and being front facing. It's like whatever kind of business I'm in, I always think I want to be front facing. I don't want to be a behind the scenes kind of guy.
Would you never do it for other people, like video editing, or is it not your cup of tea doing it for other people?
I like doing it, but I don't like doing it enough for it to be a full-time job. I think I'd take myself elsewhere.
You would end up sickening yourself because of it.
Yeah.
That's happened to me a few times. I think
the main thing, mate. I like helping people. I like changing people's lives.
I think that's the reason why me and John didn't go into PTing and personal training, because we were scared to lose our love of fitness. Because I'm not going to say I loved airplanes before I worked in airplanes, but they were cool and I liked it at the start, like the idea of it. But then when you're working around airplanes all day, every day, you're just like, fucking, I hate planes. I only want to get on to go to a nice sunny country, and that's about it. Yeah. And I didn't want that. We didn't want that to happen with fitness. So I think that's why we made the brand rather than started personal training. Because let's be honest, me and John could probably walk into a fitness, like a personal training sort of environment and be successful. But would we be taking a step back from our own fitness? I think that's
it's what I've done with. It's similar to what I've done with physio stuff. Like I've never, I do PT and I program people, but I've never done one-to-one PT. And it's like I'm always outside of the gym because I don't want to take my hobby and my passion completely away from myself. And I think say you guys doing the clothing brand that's based around fitness you have your passion, but it's not directly your passion.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Yeah, exactly.
You have your hobby and you're not doing it directly, and I think that's important. Mm-hmm. It's like I said,
I think everyone has the right to do what they like a job they love. I think everyone has that right. But unfortunately, if people did do what they love, the world would be the same. Like everyone, I'm sure, the toilets have to be cleaned, the fucking rubbish has to be picked up. There has to be jobs like that, or the world wouldn't go round. Yeah. It's just an unfortunate truth, but I think everyone still has a right to do what they love, which is quite hard in this day and age. It's very hard to find a job that you love, which we are trying our best, Adam, but we'll get there.
Yeah, no, well, I think you do the things that you love for the sake of it. But if you're comfortable in, this is what's so brilliant about social media, is that you can do the thing that you love. It's like what Gary Vee talks about all the time. Is like, if you were a connoisseur of olive oils and you love olive oils kind of things and all the different types of olive oils that you get, if you literally sat down and made a podcast or wrote a blog about olive oils, then eventually that would get traction and you could be the number one olive oil sales.
Oh, it's mad. I've got a very good example of that. So my good friend Michael, sorry, I'm taking take care of things on this. My friend Michael, we went rock climbing before, and he brought his mate with him, and he weighed up in this fucking class Mercedes, and I was like, who's this guy? and he was telling me, he's like, mate, you'll never guess what his job is. I was like, he's bound to be like an accountant or someone big, and he was like, nope. He was like, he sells milk. I was like, he sells milk? What do you mean? So he basically, do you know, it's mad. So in hotels, you get the wee fucking small plastic milks this size. So it's his job. He makes every single one of them.
Fuck yeah.
Like, he is the manufacturer of these wee milks. He founded, patented it, fucking everything, these wee small milks. So anything you see in a hotel that has those wee milks came through his business. It's mad. But like, how on earth do you get to that point where I'm like, I'm going to make mini milks?
Well, that's it. I think once you learn the process, I think it's similar to anything. Once you learn the process of like, okay, you might have done like a little bit of an invention or an idea in the past and learned how to patent it and everything, and learned the trademarking and whatnot, and learned just how to produce it and get test samples and see if it'd be something that'd stick. But again, as soon as you learn that process, it'd be like, say you guys like making a t-shirt. If you started out making a t-shirt, I bet it fucking took ages, and like it took you ages to get it right.
Yeah.
And then now it'd be like, oh, here's the design, here's the supplier, make it away, manufacture.
Yeah, exactly. We've got all our size charts and all there already. Just need to send it to the manufacturer.
Yeah, exactly. So,
but I think now, like, I'd like to do that in the future because I've got a knowledge of like designing and then a good supplier as well. Like, I'd love to go into the fashion sort of side of things rather than fitness. Like,
yeah,
I think it'd be cool. I've always had a liking for fashion. I think I was telling you before this, like, I probably would have done fashion if it wasn't so like, I don't know if it's frowned upon. Like, if I was in school and I said to the boys, "Oh, what are you going to uni to do?" and I'd be like, "Going to do fashion," they would all just take the pure mick out of you. Like,
yeah, it's the stereotypical gay or
it's
female
social
thing
norms,
to do,
isn't it? Yeah. It's so bad. Like, it maybe cancels out like that. What we're talking about doing something you love. Like, people don't get to do what they love because of social norms saying that you shouldn't do it, or you're scared to do it because you get made fun of. Which is,
I
it's
think
mad.
That needs rewording slightly. Is people listen to the social norms, so they don't do what they love. It's not a matter of that they can't do what they love. It's their
well,
circle
they feel
and the
like they
pressure
can't.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the issue. The issue is that they feel like they can't, not the fact that they can do anything they want. And I think that's one thing another thing that schools fuck up with is you get stuck down this like academic line so much, and then when you realise that you actually finish university or you finish education, you're like, oh fuck, I can do absolutely anything I want now.
Yeah,
I could do
because there's
anything
no one going to judge you or anything.
Yeah, but you don't get
sometimes
taught the
that's too
skills.
late.
Yeah, you don't get taught the skills about patents or making your idea a reality. You don't get taught about tax. You don't get taught about mortgages. You don't get taught about like all the little business things about becoming self-employed or whatnot. And it's just, I mean, the majority of the reason why this is because teachers don't have a fucking clue anyway. Like, I know loads of teachers that have finished uni, gone back to the school that they went to high school in, and they're just living their life out doing that. Where the fuck are they going to learn about tax? They didn't learn about it in school. They didn't learn about it in university. And now they've gone back to the school that they went to.
It's the blind leading the blind, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, but then I think people like, say, ourselves that have to learn and deal about tax is like, the last thing I'd really ever want to do is go to a school and teach at the minute. I wouldn't mind giving talks and whatnot, but I'd never want to be a teacher. So it'd be like...
I used to want to do it. Like, I was like, after being an aircraft mechanic for a while, I was like, I could definitely teach this. And it's like a way home. I always thought about it as like a last resort to go home and teach people, which I always liked the idea because I like teaching people anything, but I think it would be a very stressful job with all the kids nowadays and all the rules in schools. I thought, like, well, can't even hit them. You know what I mean?
Think you'd be teaching aircraft mechanics, so you won't be teaching business.
No, I'll go back and do
would
like
you?
technology design, or I'll fill in for the business ones. I'll be like, here, you need to substitute. And just walk into home economics and start fucking making pancakes. But yeah, the social norms is a good example of that. It's like a friend of mine. He was like a fucking hard man in school. I was scared of him, like, and he used to have fights with like, some of the big lads, and I was like, fuck, I wouldn't want to mess with him. And I ran into him, I think it was 2 years after school. We were playing the same football team. He joined the same football team as me. I was chatting to him. He's like, oh, so what are you doing? He was like, he was sort of hesitant to say, and I was like, what are you doing? He was, well, I started a fashion course. Like, he was being really quiet about it, and I was like, man, no judging here. That's class. I'd love to do that. And he was like, really? And I was like, yeah, fucking right. That sounds class. But he was like, yeah, everyone sort of thinks I'm gay and stuff. And I was like, nah, mate, fucking. But that he didn't make that decision earlier just because he was scared of people thinking he was gay, which is mad. But like, I wouldn't say I judged him, but I was just like, I just didn't expect him to go down that route. But why shouldn't he? Like, I was wrong to probably judge him that way.
I mean, there are a few lads like that in my school that were like part of like the hard lads kind of group, and now they're hairdressers, like barbers. It's like you kind of, again, you don't really. I think that has become a lot more accepted recently, like men going into cutting hair and stuff. But again, it was like one of them
edgy, isn't it?
One of them things, yeah, that you kind of don't expect some people to do, and then they just start wanting to do it. But I think it's good. Like, it's good for people to just step out. If you fucking love styling hair, then
and think of the being like, if you want to be different. So say my mate there who went to do the fashion, like, he'd be so unique going into that course. He would stand out like a sore thumb. He'd be an outlier as soon as he walks in. So it'd be all eyes on him, which is a good thing if you're going into an industry. Yeah. Like, you've got the fucking limelight, you know what I mean, for being different, which is such a good idea. But definitely. Going back, I think I would do something different like that.
If everyone else is calling him gay, and he's picking the perfect environment if he knows he's not gay, because there's going to be a course full of
women everywhere. Yeah. It's fucking dick. His dick will look like a lion bar. You've been going around all them, fuck's sake.
Why do you think I did trampolining for a bit in uni, mate?
I thought you just like bounced about. Just to see your boobs going down.
I did that in my leaner phase, one of my leaner phases when I was at uni, to be honest.
Trampoline's pretty cool, to be fair.
No, yeah, I'm pretty sick at it as well now.
Are you? You do backflips and all?
I do backflip full twist, mate, and
Jesus,
start doing double backs and whatnot.
Sorry. So, on another note, we'll bounce to the next section. I don't even have a next section. I'm looking at this book, like, there's nothing on this paper. So I'm not going to read you my business ideas, because that's what's on that side of the paper. And then there's finances in another one. What do you want to talk about?
What we normally do, we've gone through what's been in the news with the gyms and what's not, and then we go to better pills to swallow. Or
better pill to swallow. Like social norms, I think, was a better pill to swallow. You don't have to accept the social norms, and then put in the bin. What's annoyed you this week? Has anything annoyed you this week? I've been by myself all week in work because my mate went home, and I've been very lonely. Like, it's been shit. And I've actually had to do a load of work, because usually I get my mate to do all my work for me, and then I just do hybrid stuff on my phone. And then now I'm well back on my hybrid stuff, and I've had to work like fuck. So it just hit me hard this week. I've been knackered, really hard.
I don't know what's annoyed me this week. I'd tell a little bit of a story. I don't know if I'm allowed to tell this story. I'm going to tell it anyway. But
yes, I love the ones you're not allowed to tell. You're not supposed to. Is it juicy? Does it involve nudity?
Yeah, well, it is. Well, I had to basically on Friday night.
Oh, not your nudity. Someone else's.
No, not my nudity. It's got no one about nudity. On Friday night, I was going to go and stay over at Alice's, but I didn't end up going. And then at 5:30 in the morning, I get a phone call from her crying, saying, "I've just had to call the police. Will you come over, please?"
What? And
basically, her housemates were having, like, they went out for a drink into Headingley where they live, and then they came back to the house, and like one of the girlfriends, boyfriend, and there were just like a couple of them that were at the house, and basically the girl's now ex-boyfriend was, while she went down to the toilet, she was looking through his phone. No, he was looking through her phone, and like, why does anyone do that? Why do you check you?
Oh, it pisses me off. Like, that would be relation. See, if anyone went on my phone, I'm nothing to hide. Like, if she went on my phone, it'd be over. Like, if the trust isn't there, there's no point in carrying on the relationship. I think we both know that. But yeah, carry on. Sorry.
But yeah, anyway, that happened, and for me, like you say, it's not. There's nothing to hide there, but it's like, why do you not trust me enough to do it, especially behind my back, like whilst gone down to the toilet, or whatever, and then. He was super pissed. He got even more pissed. He started kicking off. She asked him to leave. He wouldn't leave. And this went back and forth for about 4 hours. ended up biting his friend on the arm, like his friend.
He bit his own friend.
He bit his own friend who was trying to calm him down and chill him out. He bit him on the bicep, like on the arm here. He had like, when I got there, he had like this massive red mouth marker on his arm.
Fucking hell.
And then he punched like his best mate in the head like 3 times. And then the police had to be called. It's like one of the doors is nearly ripped off its hinges. And I
just imagine Alice in her room, just earphones in, like la 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 la, can't hear nothing.
Yeah, well, that was it. It was the point that the three girls that lived there were up in the bedroom whilst this guy were kicking off downstairs, and the other lad were trying to calm him down and get him to leave.
Fucking hell.
The funniest bit about it is the guy who was trying to help and try and getting him to leave. But anyway, just finishing off the story, he left when he found out the police had been called. So he went off when they found out the police had been called. But he took his mate's shoe with him and put it in his backpack. So
what a dick move.
The other lad stayed on the sofa until the morning. And he just got up and went, and like it's like one of the you have to bolt the door from the outside, so the girl let him out with just like he just looked like he were hobbling down the street, like
walk
the
of shame.
Walk of shame he's ever had in his life. He'd been a massive lump on his head from being punched in back of head, a bite mark on his bicep, and a missioner's shoe.
He'll come in through the door, and his mum's just like, "Good night, mate."
Yeah. I know. Yeah. Well, it was just one of them things that just developed so quickly, and it was crazy. But it's that relationship is over now. But yeah,
I think safe to say she probably made the right decision. Probably a bit late in that decision as well.
Yeah. Well, that was it, and I think that's what we're putting in the bin is like over controlling and possessive partners.
Especially males. Like, it makes me ashamed to be a man sometimes when you see these fucking over possessive men. Just let it slide, like fucking hell.
Yeah,
but saying that, he probably never know what he went through in the past. He might have had an ex-girlfriend who completely screwed him over.
That's what my first question was to his mate and her when I got there was like, because I've never seen like I've seen the guy. I've been around the house when he's around as well, and I would like the first question was to Alice's housemate and the mate that was the one that was trying to stop him. Like, has he been burnt in the past? Like, has he been cheated on in the past or whatnot? Because has this made him this possessive way or what? And he went, no, not really. I was like, well, it just made me think then. I was like, well, what's his mum and dad like? Is his dad really possessive over his mum maybe? And that's where he's like,
you've talked to so many people like this now. Overanalyzing him. Maybe he's just a dickhead. Hey, Adam, what about that?
Yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, but there's always a why. Why is he a dickhead though? I don't know. Maybe he just is. But I feel like all these kind of things are always learnt from something in your past. You don't just become a dickhead. Like you'd be surrounded by a brother or a dad or someone else.
Or just a group of dickheads, friends. I think it'd be a big influence as well. But yeah, that's true. You've got a very good point there. Yeah,
I think everything like that is learnt from somewhere. So
yeah,
but yeah, that's what's going in the bin. Over possessive partners.
That's a good one.
We'll
call it because we had a massive one. I think it was last week. It was pretty big. It was like an hour and a quarter or something, wasn't it? Hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah. I think this one's been about
it's
an hour.
50 minutes, yeah. So we'll keep this one short since next week's going to be a fucking big one.
Get excited for next week, aren't they? Leaving with something to what's the term?
Speaking of which, right? So I'll finish on this. So a guy, I'm trying to get a bus for hybrid, like a promotional sort of commercial vehicle, and I found one and I mailed them on eBay, and I was just like, I'll tell you what it is. I'm coming from Italy. I want to land in Italy, pick up a bus, drive to Leeds, and drive across to Northern Ireland. And he's a fucking car salesman, and he was just like, I don't know about that. You've just told me your whole plan, and if I was to do this, I'd be aiding and abetting like a criminal and all. And I was just like, man, I'm picking up a bus. I'm not fucking getting gear off you. It's like. And then I was just like, mate, I'm a fucking essential worker. Like, and he was like, oh, well, now you've said that, I definitely don't believe you and all. I was just like, mate, you're a fucking car salesman. You're getting commission for selling the car. I'm literally giving you money. I'll put a deposit down. He was like, aiding and bedding. And I was like, you know what, mate, I don't even want your fucking bus. Go fucking,
wow,
go take your face for a shit. Oh man, I couldn't believe it. Like, just like, what sort of salesman just turns down a sale like that?
I know, as if you just go straight to the fact of being like, I'll tell you the deal. What's going on is the fact I want to buy a bus for my business.
Yeah, I'm literally landing in a country where I need to buy a bus.
Yeah.
Will you sell me it? No, sorry.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot. But that's my plan. I'm going to get a bus, drive it up to you, do podcasts, do fitness, maybe go for some food, and then drive across and see my family in Northern Ireland the next day. But I have to drive to Scotland. I'll have to drive to Scotland and get the boat across from Scotland.
Oh, that'll be a nice long drive that day, won't it?
Test out the new bus. If you even get one, I'll probably end up getting the fucking train to you at this rate.
Yeah.
That won't be as fun.
No, well, we'll see. We'll get something sorted, mate.
Yeah, we'll do something. Yeah, so we'll wrap it up there. This podcast is sponsored by Hybrid Academy, who, with the code NL10, you can get 10% off all the store. There's quite a lot going on at the minute with Hybrid. Very exciting stuff. Can't spill the beans just yet, but shit's going down.
How often are you doing your little lives, your Insta lives?
See, we were going to do it weekly, but I think we haven't got much to talk about every week because the things don't move that fast with Hybrid because we take so long on making all the products. So, yeah, we've done a coffee live. It'll be this on Wednesday. So on Sunday we did a coffee morning. We'll do them maybe once a month just to keep people updated, but it was fun and there was like quite a lot of people watching. It was interesting. Yeah. But yeah, do that more often. And I'm going on Clubhouse more often as well. I broke my Clubhouse virginity. So
no, I'm getting back onto Clubhouse more this week. I've got a good A game podcast coming out as well. And then training, working until you get here on fucking weekend.
Sick.
Smash it up.
Can't wait.
Yeah. Awesome, guys. Well, thank you very much for listening. Hopefully you are looking forward to next week for the in-person episode, which is going to be class. And then, we will speak to you all very, very soon. Cheers, guys. Bye.
Bye.